Hi, good afternoon. Donna Ferguson here. Hope you're having a great day. I wonder what your weekend was like. Well, if you're in New York, I know it was cold. Some days it was cold, but it's on and off. So, what can we say? Winter is coming. It's fall. Winter is coming, and also coming soon. The time change is gonna take place. I don't know if you guys are looking forward to it, but such is life. Well, today I wanted to come on and talk a little bit more because my goal always is to come and bring some new information regarding financial planning, so that when you are ready to do make any move and make any plans for your family, that you are well prepared. I didn't get a chance to put out a notification that I was going to come on, but nonetheless, I am on and I just want to share something. So last week when I was on, one of the viewers asked if I could speak a little bit more about term insurance. As you know, I am a financial service professional that provides services to individual and families in the area of life insurance, investments, retirement planning, rollover, legacy planning. And I work with a team of people who, if I don't have the expertise in the thing, I have somebody who can do it. So they wanted to know a little bit more about term insurance. So I label this like, what is term insurance and is it even worth having? Because individuals have gone on appointments and I've heard individuals, no, I don't want term life. It doesn't make any sense. I'm wasting my money. But it's when you think about the type of insurance, permanent versus temporary, where term policy falls on a temporary, would you say it is of no use? Doesn't it make sense or whatever? It's, as I mentioned, it's neither good or bad. It's just what your need as your own soul and family member might decide that you need for your family. Okay, so what is a term policy anyway? So a term policy is a temporary policy that is used by a old soul to protect their family. Basically that. Why would someone choose that type of insurance as opposed to term permanent? There are several reasons. An individual might feel like affordability might be one aspect that cause someone to choose a term policy. Why is that? Term policy is one of the affordable insurance that you can put in place for your family. If you just want to start with the basics, I don't have a lot of money to spend, my budget is low, start with a term policy. So how does a term policy work? I usually explain it as simple as I can as like someone renting an apartment. When you first go in to your landlord, they might not trust you as a tenant as yet. So they may say, let me start you out with a 1 year lease. And when that 1 year is over, they will say, okay, are you going to stay? Yes, I'm going to stay. All right, here's the new rent. And you go to the next tier in the rent and you have the apartment for use. So think about that term policy in that same kind of manner, in the sense where you have it and you have the protection that if something should happen to you, the insured, while you have that policy, the benefit of that face value is the amount of insurance, your beneficiary will receive those funds. It's just like you having any kind of insurance, a car insurance, a phone insurance. If something happens, it is there for protection. You don't have to find all of that money out of your pocket to cover any cost. The purpose of it is to spread risk. Some people would say, well, I could save my money and have it for if something should happen to me, my family will be able to get it. But what if that sometime is going to be tomorrow? We don't have a date as to say we're born, but we don't know when we're going to die. So we can say, okay, we're gonna save the money and say it's 100,000. Yes, I'm gonna save the money. But how long will it take you to save that 100,000 if your time is tomorrow? It might seem very morbid that I'm speaking in this manner, but this is how life is. Even during this crisis, we realize that so many families has lost loved one. How many of those families have stuff in place? Even the basic. And one of the things, so I talk about like there are insurance term policies that are yearly. As each year the premium will go up. Then if take the same case as a landlord, you're with that landlord for a while and say, okay, I could trust you. Let me give you a 5-year lease, if there's such a thing. And you're paying that same rate for your rent for 5 years straight. But you know when that 5 years is done, your insurance is gonna go up. And usually it's gonna be the market rates. Because while you were paying that same rent for 5 years, the market rate of rent has been going up all the time. So at 5 years, think about what the market would have gone up in terms of rent. So your landlord might very well say, okay, it's end of 5 year. If you plan to stay, here's now rent. And you might look at, oh my God, I can't pay this because it's so compared to what you used to pay for that 5 years. The rate has gone up so much, right? So you're saying, no, what, with all that rent, might as well have bought a house. Now, here's some of the many insurance company does this, where a part of your temporary term policy might have this benefit in it, where you're able within a certain period of time, say for instance, even if it was that 5-year term lease, your landlord said, okay, while you are here for 5 years, let's rent to buy this house. And so in other words, what you're doing is turning your temporary insurance into a permanent one. So think about it. So where work, we have yearly. The rate goes up every year. We also have anything from anywhere from 10 to 20 years, and you're paying that same rate. But within that time period, whether it's 10-year, 20-year, or every year, you have that ability to change that temporary insurance into a permanent insurance. And why would someone want to change into a permanent insurance? They may feel that, okay, yes, I want to have that guaranteed death benefit for my family, but I want to have use of the benefit that comes with whole life while I am the owner alive or either insurer is alive. What are some of those benefits in a permanent whole life policy? For instance, there's a cash value. As you're paying your premium, a portion of that premium is going there to build cash value. Thus, you will find that the premium on a term policy is way lower than a whole life policy. Why? It's because of the cash value component that comes with a permanent insurance. Not only that, most whole life policies or permanent insurance also pay dividends, right? So that dividend, if it stays in the policy, it tends to go, if many ways you can do dividends. You can either take it in cash, you can use it to stay to pay premium, or you can buy more insurance. Because how many of you know people might have insurance for 50 years ago? Plenty of people do. That policy might have been a $10,000, and it might be at that time this was what it was, and it was a good amount. But if you come 50 years later and you're realizing, wow, that $10,000 don't look so well anymore because a cost of inflation, the cost of stuff are rising, the cost of final expenses is also rising. So one of the things that individuals do with their permanent policies is to keep the dividend in to buy more insurance so that their face value could climb and increase over time. Also, one of the benefits also of having permanent insurance is that the day that you get that insurance, the premium is locked in for life. There's no increase in premium, none whatsoever. So that's one of the reasons why many people would say, okay, it's a waste of time to have term, so I want a permanent policy. But again, it comes down to what is it that you want for your family. So term policy. Why do people use term policy? People use it for several reasons. One, I spoke about one, maybe affordability. I just want to start somewhere and just know that I have my family covered. But there are people who are well off and still buy term insurance. Why is that? One, they might want it for income replacement. What do I mean by that? So I might have a family where I am the breadwinner, I'm the one who's going out. My income is say 200,000, and my family is depending on that to live on. If I am not here tomorrow, or I don't make it home, that 200,000 that my family was depending on is no longer there. So people use it as a way of income replacement. They take in consideration, I have young children, and those children are not going to be able to maintain or be on their own for a good another 20 years or more, whatever those years might be. And they are thinking, I don't want my children to be suffering. And if I have more than one children, I don't want to send one to one family member and another to one family member because I didn't put in place what I need for my family to be covered. So they use it for income replacement. So what they do, for instance, if I have a 10-year-old child and I know it's going to take another 10 years before my child is well on their feet, I would take that 200,000 times the 10 years, and at minimum, you need at least $2 million worth of life insurance. How can I afford that? Isn't that going to be too expensive? You'll be surprised. It's not as expensive as you think. It's not as expensive as you think. And that $2 million that you put in place, I'm sure if you were trying to save it, it would take a very long time. So this is why people put term life insurance in place. Another reason is you just bought a home and you're saying, wow, I just bought a home. If something should happen to me, will my family have to sell that home? Will I have to move? So people also use it for mortgage protection, so that if something should happen to them, their family will be able to pay for that home. If as the year goes by and you have that temporary insurance, and you're paying down your mortgage and your mortgage is getting less, but at least you know that if there's a difference between, you might have started out at 500,000 and here it is 30 years later, my mortgage is now, or 20 years later, I only hold 10,000. But guess what? If something happened to you, you have that difference where your family could have to leverage living the lifestyle that they have, and they don't have to change it a lot. Another way that individuals use term insurance, also businesses use it. They might use it for debt. They might say that, you know what, if something should happen to me, I have huge debt in my business that I don't want my family have to worry about taking care of that debt. So thus they put that insurance in place. So now you see the importance of having insurance and enough to cover what your family needs. And as I mentioned, no one family is the same. Everyone needs something different. But my thing is, if you don't have anything in place at all, and money, your budget or what you could pay on a monthly basis is an issue, I would say at least start with a temporary insurance. Being able to take advantage of the benefit later and turn it into a permanent insurance. Also, if you have the finances and you feel like you want to have both at the same time, well, I want a large insurance, but I want to have that benefit of growing cash value while I'm young, and as the year goes by, it's building up, so I could use it for one, to fund any kind of emergency, to supplement my retirement in later years, or whatever it is that you seems fit. You can have a combination of having term and life at the same time. There is no, as long as you can pay for it, There is no limit as to what you can put in place for you and your family to make it work. Many of us have children and we want to put in place life insurance for them. Because they're so young, I would say you're gonna put out life insurance. Remember the whole life policy in place or a permanent policy in what format or what benefit may be. Just think about it. The rate you have today, if your child is 1 year old, if it's $20, it's gonna be that $20 for his rest of his or her life. If it's for you and you're paying $50 for a whole life or a permanent policy, it's gonna be that rate for the rest of your life. When we talk about term, remember, it's for a period of time, it's temporary. Just like anything else, the rate will go up yearly or after a period of time. Usually, you have the option to convert in whole or in part that term insurance. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is. There's more to it and ways that you can use term insurance to cover your family needs. But this is it for now. If you have any questions or you want any further explanation, again, please utilize the email, visit my website, because you can always schedule something via the website or notify me, or also inbox me with any questions concern any further explanation you might want to know about the types of insurance or any other kind of investments, retirement planning, rollovers. A lot of people left from one job to the next, left their retirement with that former employer, and it's not really employer, and it's not really doing a lot for them. There's ways that you can move that where you're managing it or move it over to your new employer. So if you felt that this was information that you could use or someone you know could use, please like, share, or comment. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. Donna Ferguson again, and here to serve you as a community and bring information that will help you in your financial planning and goals for your loved one. Again, I will say, if you love someone, you plan for them. Have an awesome afternoon and a blessed and productive week. Bye for now.